Can you hear me? There's no sound. Hey, Craig, good morning.
Good morning, Millie. How are you?
I'm wonderful, thank you.
Good.
I'm assuming everyone can see and hear us, and I have no idea what Bert was saying, so I
Uh,
can't elaborate on it.
exactly. I don't know. I assume he's trying to reboot or something.
Yeah. Good morning, Rick. You're muted.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm good, I'm good. So we're just like hanging out here.
Right on.
Let
Nothing
me
wrong with hanging
see.
out.
I assume I assume Bert brought us over for some reason, huh? I wasn't expecting it.
No, I wasn't either. I
I know, I wasn't either. He just sent me a message on Facebook saying he'll be right back.
oh
Okay.
really?
And today looks like Talk It Up Thursday.
Ah,
And that gives me no insight as to what we are
no
supposed to talk
idea.
We'll just wing it.
up.
That's what Bert's famous for, is having us wing it, right?
Yep.
Were you guys on the webinar last night?
Hmm.
Yes,
What'd you think?
that was awesome. That was
Yeah.
good stuff.
You inspired to go sell something?
Now I just need to get organized.
Yeah, yeah. It's really cool. Um, Steve is so analytical. It's crazy.
Oh, I know. Tonight should be interesting too.
Okay, let me see. Oh yeah, Leanne says they can hear us.
Good.
We're not too entertaining though. Okay, so I just gave Bert the webinar URL. Let's see if he can get back in. I think.
There he is.
Okay,
There
there
he
he
is.
is.
All right.
Hey, Bert.
Sorry. Hey,
Good
everybody.
morning.
Morning. Thanks for coming over. So, guys, this is a foreshadowing. Let me go back and enable the chat for everyone. This is a foreshadowing for Tech Tip Tuesday. I don't know what you guys were talking about, but we'll go into it. Were you guys already talking about something?
No, not really.
Okay. So this is really a good foreshadowing for a Tech Tip Tuesday. If you're ever doing a webinar and something kooky is going down, it's not set up for in the back. If you're using the webinars on Air Platform, it's not really set up for you to go back into the platform and restart it. So, two things you should do. Whenever you start the webinar, and I forgot to do this, and it was like literally because it just started and I didn't realize that there was no sound. I should have done it before I left. The first thing you should do is just go copy the URL at the top of the URL. Also, if you ever get invited to come over as a panelist on any webinar, as soon as you're over on the panelist side, copy that URL up top so that if you get bumped off or whatever, you can just paste that back into your browser and you can come back over. Then the organizer doesn't have to go and find you and try to do that, because a lot of times they're moving forward in the presentation and they don't have time to do that. So this way you still can keep your involvement. The other reason is you're the actual person that's hosting the webinar. you can copy the URL. You can then refresh, right? Which is what I did. I refreshed my browser to try to come back. But if I refresh, check this out. If you're the presenter and you refresh, everyone that's attending the webinar gets dropped.
Oh, no.
Okay, so they can click on their link and they can come back if you come back, but you can't go and like restart the webinar. So if you bring people over, like I clicked on 3 different people to make sure that there was going to be at least multiple people here, right? So that if someone fell off, the webinar was still going, everyone didn't drop, and then literally after I refreshed, it didn't give me my sound again, so I literally just restarted my system real quick. So that's why having people over here, it allowed the webinar to continue broadcasting, right? Because it was already going from the platform, and then we could just continue when I got right back. So thank you, Craig, Malia, and Rick for being real-time heroes and saving the webinar this morning. I titled the webinar, and if you guys want to stay over here, you can. Yeah, I titled the webinar this morning, Now What? And the reason that I titled it Now What was sometimes this was a great example. The sound wasn't working. Now what? The gentleman that I had that's a local rep, that's what I was going into this morning when I started the call was we had it set up to do Throwdown Thursday, and where we do like secret topic and we just throw it out and we add a new person each week. And the reason that we didn't do it is because the guest that I had set up literally texted me last night and they had to take one of their kids to the hospital. So there was like this family emergency. I was like, okay, no worries, we'll reschedule, no problem. So that's one of the freedoms that we have in our business, right? Being able to work around things, right, and add things into our calendar and schedule at our leisure because we're in charge of our calendar. On the other hand, what happens when something cancels? What happens when there's a hole in your schedule? What happens when the tech doesn't work? So I named this morning's Now What? So then what do you do? Right? Now what? What's the next step? And where people a lot of times where we have challenges in our business is when we run into an obstacle, we don't know what the next step is. We're not quite clear on right? We had a set action plan, and our action plan was 7 steps, and it was going to get us from A to B. But after step 4, like a landmine went off, right? So between step 4 and step 5, there's like a massive crater, okay? And now all of a sudden, we're left with now what? How do I get from 4 to 5? Because there's this huge crater in the middle of it, and I'm wearing like flip-flops and like shorts and a t-shirt, right? And this is like a massive blast zone. Like, how am I going to get through here? Well, now there needs to be the now what is there needs to be a supplemental plan of action, right? There needs to be additional steps, solution steps. See, there's one of 2 places we can go here. We can go into a place where we're not exactly sure what to do, and then we can spin around in a circle, and then we can, we can spin it around in a circle, and we can then decide to not progress, right? We can decide to not move forward, and then a lot of times what happens is you'll see people will jump from idea to idea, right? Because they got stuck in something, and so instead of like finishing that out, really solving the challenges that are in front of them, and getting to that, from A to B, somewhere along that journey, they stop and then they redirect and they make a new journey, and there's a story in there, right, that we tell ourselves that to justify why we stopped that previous journey. And if you rewind in life, right? Think about it. And I'm not saying this to be a downer. I'm saying this to think about this as a grounding point, to say, now what? Well, now I'm going to go get a solution. Now I'm going to go and take action. Now is the time that I'm going to make a move, and I'm going to go do something. Because how many of us can look back, and I'm not saying it in a remorseful way or like get regretful, but how many of us can look back in our experience, in our journey, and look and see, oh yeah, I wrote a story in my head there to justify not finishing this or not completing this, or the reason that I didn't get my goal for, in A, B, C, D, fill in the blank situation is because, and then there was this narrative that rewrote. Why? Because there was a challenge that came. Really? In reality, what happened was we had 7 steps, and at step 4, something happened. Life occurred, right? Life occurred. Someone lost a job. Someone got a job. A baby was born. Holidays came. The Dodgers won the pennant. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know, like literally, like you know what I mean? Like the vacuum doesn't work. The tranny fell out of the car. The puppy needs an appendectomy, right? Like whatever. Like life is occurring, and if you're taking steps, and all of a sudden life occurs, and that landmine comes, all that needs to happen is a supplemental plan of attack, right? A new plan of action. How am I going to get across, around, or through this challenge? In this case, in this analogy, we're using this crater, right? So the first thing I'm thinking is like, listen, we got to call a guy that has like a backhoe or a tractor or like a big like diesel track thing so we could go down through this crater thing, right? That's it. Like I'm like instantaneously thinking, okay, like what's the best way we could get across this bad boy? All right, now let's call the guy that has the thing that we need to get across and find out, all right, dude, what's the gig? How much is a ticket across this thing? Like, if I need you to bring that thing here and we got to get across the crater, right, how much is that going to be? What is that going to take? What's the plan to get from here to there on your tractor deal? Right, that's what I'm going to find out. And then I'm going to implement that. Right? If it's a feasible strategy, if there's something that makes that solution unavailable, the first solution, then I find a new solution. Let's say that guy, I call that guy and he's like, hey, it's $1 million, and I'm like, okay, I don't have $1 million. I'm not paying $1 million to get from here to like I can't do that, right? So then I have to say, okay, well, how can I get around? Maybe there's a path around, right? Can I walk around the top of the crater? Like, I'm going to investigate. I'm going to do my due diligence, and then I'm just going to write down the steps that are required to get me back to step 5, right? Because this is a 7-step process. If we're on step 4 and that landmine goes off, that crater appears at step 4, I still have to get back to step 5 to complete this process. So now what is, how do we get to immediate solutions, right? Because what happens is we get frustrated, right? Listen, I can almost guarantee you, if you're doing webinars like I know Len and Bob are doing some webinars, right? Felicia does webinars. Anyone that's doing webinars, okay, has had a tech difficulty. All right? So if you're doing a webinar and all of a sudden the tech part breaks, you have 2 options. You can either put in an immediate plan of action to get to the result of getting back to the people, right? Taking care of what you were doing originally, getting the webinar going, or you can freak out. That's plan B. Oh man, I don't know what to do. The whole thing's broke. This thing sucks. Oh my gosh. The email isn't coming. The people aren't here. Now it canceled. It shot them off over here. Oh, my sound isn't working. The video, now Craig's video doesn't work. Oh my gosh, the screen share. My PowerPoint, oh my gosh, it's going so slow. The delay. Oh, right? That's all these. That's like all problem. that's all like jumping in and like stirring it up, right? The now what is now what? Okay, now what can I do? There's no sound, right? This morning, now what? There's no sound. What can I do? What can I do to make this happen? Okay, I can find 3 people that I know have been over on a Hangout before, and I can click them really quick, bring them over, so as soon as I see them popping up, I can then I can type, I'll be right back, I'll refresh and see if it works. That's it. That's what I could do. So I refresh, it didn't work. So I'm like, okay, I'll be right back. In addition to doing the message in the chat, I messaged some people on Facebook and said, hey, I'll be right back, right? And then I rebooted the system. And then I literally asked, hey, paste the link over here for me so I can click back in, because I hadn't copied it yet. Because I was just going fast. I didn't think about that, right? I didn't even think about that. I just knew that it was still going. So what are your now whats in your business? What are the now whats that are happening right now in your business? What are the obstacles that are right in front of you that you can literally go, okay, now what is the solution, right? Identify the solution, implement the actions that are required to get to that solution, and now you're back on track. And I'm usually looking for the fastest solution, right? Not always. I'm sure there's probably exceptions. If you like grilled me and gave me like specific scenarios and were like, hey, what about this? And like, hey, Bert, what about that? What about if you were, stranded on the moon and the oxygen tank on your back didn't work? Well, that would obviously, I'd always go the fastest, right? Because you didn't have oxygen. But you know what I'm saying. Sometimes the fastest wouldn't necessarily be the exact or the obvious choice. But most likely, in this case, what I'm talking about, it is, right? In our getting our business done, that it is. It's the quickest solution that I can get to remedy, right? To remedy the challenge, to solve the challenge, to fix the situation, to be able to get back to the original plan, which was finish out the original directions, right? The original set of steps. So, do we have any? I'll go open the question and answer too. I know some people like to ask the questions privately. Do we have any questions this morning in regards to this, or how you could implement it on your business? No, all right. Nothing from Craig, nothing from you guys.
Seems like there's a terrible lag.
Oh yeah, I guess I should wait a minute. That's okay. It's probably the lag is because I'm the originator and then I left and then you guys were but you were still here, so you were already on a lag. So now now that I came back, it's probably I'm on like a lag of your lag. I'm lagging.
Yeah, everyone keeps telling me to be quiet, and
I'm like, what are you talking about? I don't even know when that was. I was like, were you guys talking even? Like, they were like, Craig. I was like, did Craig even say a word?
Well, we were chit-chatting while you were gone because we realized everyone was looking at us.
I wonder if they're getting like a double feed over or something.
Yeah.
Double feed. Well, that'll be a fun little audio for you guys. And then now they're saying no one's talking, so it's all good. We'll see if in the question area, I opened the question, I opened the Q and A, if anyone. And really, the funny part about the whole what now thing is that what now was the topic originally, and that wasn't even. Or that was the title, and that wasn't even really the topic of what now. So next time we can do now what. I originally had it as a different topic that we were going to talk about this morning about. I think that a lot of us have a backwards idea, and I don't think it's really. I don't. I'm not one of those people that does like the it's not your fault, like you didn't know. Like I don't usually play that card, or like I'm not using that as like a marketing ploy. But really, I don't think it's like it really isn't. Like we learn all these skills in the beginning that we think because we want to learn marketing skills. When a lot of us want to learn marketing skills, but we're networkers, right? We have opportunities, a lot of us, in home-based businesses, a lot of us, and so we're looking really to network and build bigger, warm audiences. But then we find out about marketing because we're like, oh, marketing, okay, I can market my opportunity and get more exposure, and that's the key. When in reality, if we would, on the front end, take a little bit of time, just a little bit, and be consistent about it and learn some networking skills, then we could start like learning and implementing these marketing methods. And the reason I called it Now What was because, check this out. Let's just say that you're going to go do your blog, or you're going to go you're going to do your YouTube videos, or whatever your marketing method is, right? From now until that time, when it's all quote unquote all set up and everything's rocking, right? In between now and then, like while you're building that, wouldn't it be a good idea to use some time each day to like network and learn that skill set? Because it's like a fundamental skill set, just communicating with other people and getting them to know, like, and trust you, to be able to educate people, to inform them, to be able to entertain them, to be able to give them offers, and then for them to be able to respond. That's ultimately what we want to happen, right? So what if when I did the Now What, because what if you get all that set up? What if it's all set up? Now what? Now what are you going to do? Okay, now you're getting 27, whatever the number is that you want in your mind. Now you're getting 27 leads a day. Now you're getting 100 leads a day. Now you're getting whatever X amount of leads a day. Let's just say now you're doing that because your marketing is working. Now what? Now what are you going to do? How are you going to go and close those sales? How are you going to communicate with your people? Even if you're just communicating straight with email. Have you learned that communication style? Are you proficient in that? Have you been practicing it every day? Or okay, this is the big question. Do you have people on your actual list? Right? Have they stayed on your list? Because that's the most important thing, is that you're actually getting people, right? That you're actually that you're capturing people. So now your marketing's working. You're capturing the people. Yeah, awesome. You're capturing all these people. But now what? Are you prepared to go and be the leader for your team? Are you sufficient? Okay. Are you sufficiently equipped with the skills required to go out and teach your new team, these people that are going to now be on your team? Are you sufficiently prepared and adequately supplied intrinsically to be able to now go share with your team how they can prosper, how they can build the techniques and the methods that they require to go and duplicate and build a team and create a home-based business and an income and get to their goals?
I think what people fail to understand is that networking is a form of marketing. So any activity that supports sales is a marketing activity, and they don't realize, like, people think marketing is, doing Facebook ads or, a ton of things, but networking is an actual form of marketing your business, and it's something that you can do from day one with $0, and it's something that everyone should do and do consistently, because ultimately your networking is going to be a huge basis of what supports your sales activity in your business.
It's absolutely. It's like a disconnect. It's like a whole entire disconnect, and it's something that it's something that can really, I think it's the same thing. It can be solved, this now what question, it can be solved by taking action.
And that is the answer. You fail forward and you fail fast. You take action, or you're stuck. And I mean, I have personal experience, because in the same thing, I I do webinars as well, and my very first webinar, like, I gathered up. I know I need to do them, but I was afraid. I mustered up the courage. I did, you know, I emailed I promoted it, all of these things. People came, and the tech wasn't working. And I just felt completely exposed. I felt all by myself, and I did it again. And the following week, again, the tech didn't work. And instead of taking action, I canceled the next webinar. And that's what happens, is you stifle your growth, and you just can't continue to grow as a business if you don't fail fast and fail forward. You have to keep going. And I'm sure we all have experiences like that. And you're right, like the stories that we tell ourselves really affect us, because instead of saying it's the tech, you know, it'll be better next week, or, you know, it has nothing to do with me, it's not a reflection of me, it's the technology, and it's completely separate from me as a person. And instead of telling myself that maybe people will think negatively of me because I can't get it together, separate myself from that and say, sometimes technology works, sometimes it doesn't. Let's keep going, because it's not a reflection of who I am as a person and the value that I have to offer. So I think that you're exactly right about all of this.
It's a fun dynamic that we go through. So guys, it's top of the hour. I didn't want to go over. I know we got a little late start this morning. I'm excited for tomorrow. It's a Friday free-for-all. We're gonna go. I've got some appointments this morning, and I have an actual face-to-face, a live appointment. So that's gonna be fun. And then I'm gonna go shoot another video. This one, guys, another parody slash, you know, entertainment video for you. So I think you guys will really enjoy that. But check, guys, for those that are here that are watching Free Daily Coaching, and maybe you sometimes watch the replay on Google Plus or YouTube. If you're here live and you're usually here at the webinar and you're not already over on YouTube, a subscriber to my YouTube channel, go and subscribe, because then you'll get the Hangouts, right? You're going to get blasted to you as a subscriber. You're also going to get the other videos that maybe aren't coming through on Facebook when I upload a video, that aren't going through your newsfeed. And if you're a subscriber on YouTube, you'll get the other emails, right? Like I made this fun video the other day to show you how to do something totally free, right? Like this little workaround, kind of like a little like cheat the system thing for a little bit if you need to, you know, and nothing like crazy, like you're not like, you know, going nuts. And I tell you in the video, hey, when you're done, right? When you're done using it like this, and you're starting to go into profit, you know, by all means, grab these tools. So I'm putting a bunch of content up on YouTube on different playlists, and I suggest that you guys are doing the same thing. Like, I have a new idea. What if everything you guys did, check this out, this is just an idea. I'm just throwing it out there. I'm just going to throw this out on the court, and I want you guys to marinate about this, think about it, and let it just, you know, let it ruminate, let it stew in your head. And tomorrow, when you come back for free for all Friday, and everyone comes over and shares, you know, what they did, we can bring this up as well. And what if everything you do, you start to record it? I'm just throwing it out there. What if you started just recording everything you were doing, like literally like a real-time journal? You can go and cut out little like 2-minute clips, and that's your content. Hey, want to know how to do this? Boom, watch me do it. Hey, want to know how to do this? Boom, watch me do it. Oh, look, don't click on that. Takes you to the wrong place. You got to go back. Like, what if you just said that in your video? What if you're just real in your video? If you click on the wrong thing, you don't have to stop and start, you know, 5 minutes ago or 3 minutes back. Just go, oh, guys, look, don't click on that. That's the wrong thing. Go back and actually stay where you're at, and then here's where you want to click. Make sure you click up here, and then click on the right thing, right? Why not start recording everything you do? And imagine how much content you would actually have. All right, guys, that's it for the day. Go enjoy your calls. Like always, if you need to get a hold of me, call, email, text. Thanks to Malia, Rick, and Mr. Craig for jumping over and saving the webinar this morning. We'll see some of you guys, I hope, to participate tomorrow in the Friday free-for-all. Bye for now.
Good. Have a great day.
Bye.